Afternoon and greetings and welcome to Dave B's Kitchen. Today seems like a perfect afternoon to do one of Brooke and Philip's favorite meals. I believe Liam also likes it down in the panhandle of Florida. So today we're going to make meatballs with some sauce. And everyone has their own idea of how meatballs ought to be made. Everyone's grandmother makes them the best. And don't be afraid to experiment and do what you like to do or try different variations in them. There's really no wrong way. There's lots of different things that you can do and they all come out delicious. But here's the way I make them. I started off, and today we have about 3 pounds of a blend of ground pork and ground beef. Usually 80-20 is fine. A little more fat's okay. Doesn't hurt a thing. To that, I'm going to add some eggs, and typically I'll add some minced garlic, probably a tablespoon per pound if you're looking at ratios. So I'll put those right into the eggs. And then we like to season it, and I like to add all the seasonings right to the wet ingredients. So I'll put in a couple, call it a teaspoon of salt per pound. Some Italian seasonings, probably a teaspoon per pound. Black pepper, a little bit heavier, so I'll probably add a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 tablespoons. Oregano, I like a lot of oregano, so I'll probably add 2 tablespoons of that. And then some red pepper. My wife and I disagree on quantity of red pepper, so I'll go easy and probably add 2 teaspoons. And we'll just incorporate that into our egg mixture. I also add a little bit of heavy cream to the egg mixture. A lot of people will add, will omit that or just add oil. Whatever your preference is. I like the heavy cream. And I put that in. Some people will actually put breadcrumbs or stale bread into their egg mixture, and that's equally good. I'm going to use probably 5 ounces of grated cheese, and then we're going to give it a thorough mix. And I'm going to mix this with my impeccably clean hands. They've been rinsed and sanitized like countless times throughout the day. So we'll give this a good mix. Get all the seasonings and wet ingredients with the cheese mixed in. It's kind of like kneading bread. And you'll feel the consistency come together, and you'll feel where the meat will actually be sticky, and that's kind of what you want. You want that stickiness. And then once it's good incorporated, we'll go ahead and we'll start forming our meatballs. I'll get the cast iron pan going there in just a second and add some garlic to it. Yeah, a little more garlic doesn't hurt. And we'll be right back. Alright, we're going to go over to I like the cast iron pan. I think it gives a good crust on the meatballs. I put a little olive oil in, enough to cover the pan. We're going to try to infuse the garlic into the oil a little bit. Give that just a little bit of a head start. And I'll probably cut up about 40 cloves or so of garlic. And you just want to let them go till you get a little bit of perfume going. They'll start to turn color. You don't want to wait too long, but you just want to infuse a little bit of some of that oil from the garlic into the oil itself. Starting to smell good. And my wife and I disagree on the size of the meatballs. I like them golf ball size. She likes them a little bit smaller than that. So we'll try to find a nice size in between. Yeah, it's kind of golf ballish. Have to do some of equal sizes. But there again, it's personal taste. So as the meatballs continue to cook, we wait till they get a little bit of a crusty brownness on them, and that's one example. And then we'll just turn them over and let them get nice and crusty brown, and then we'll go ahead and add our spaghetti, our Italian gravy to it, and we'll make a reduction. Alright, so our meatballs, they got a good crust on them, and we're going to go ahead and add some tomato sauce to the meatballs, and we'll start forming the layers of our final sauce here. So really easy. We're just going to add some just some tomato sauce. It's a I don't know, 23-ounce can. We're going to go ahead and put that all in. I did preheat my oven to 350 degrees, and what that'll do, that'll help reduce this down. And I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock and some tomato paste. And that'll help give us just additional flavor. And all I'm doing here is I'm just mixing some chicken stock with the tomato paste just to help it better spread out in the pan. And this will help it thicken up. Ooh, that was close to overflowing, but we were saved by the bell. And you can go ahead and season that a little bit. I'll probably put a little bit of oregano in that. Let that come up to a boil. I'll let it come up to a boil, and then we'll put it in the oven and just let it finish thickening up. And once the sauce cooks down a little bit and the meatballs take on the tomato flavor, we'll pull it back out of the oven. We'll top it with some mozzarella cheese and let it get all nice and brown and crusty on top before we go ahead and serve it. So I'm just going to put a little oregano on it, and I'll be right back. Our meatballs have now reduced down. The sauce is nice and thick, and we're going to add a layer on top of cheese. And it'll get nice and bubbly and golden brown as we get ready to eat our meatball dinner.
Yummy.
Go very generous with the cheese. It can be your favorite. Could be sharp, could be provolone. I'm using mozzarella just because that's what I have.
Or it could be all of those, as Uncle Buck would say.
Yeah. In there. And we'll let that brown up.
How long will that take, Uncle Buck?
It'll only take a few minutes, probably less than 5. So we'll keep a close eye on it.